principal, staff, teachers, parents, and my dear children. It's very heartening to note that health, which was an issue which was mainly concerning parents, is now being taken care of also by the school authorities and a smart company like HealthSetGo. And I'm proud to be part of this association. First, I must thank you for the very lovely song, Roli Chandan by the children, by Happy and Healthy Children, and a very nice skit which has probably conveyed the message more than maybe I can convey, but I'll try my best to convey some message at least. That was very nice. Now, how do you define a healthy child? You know, like we all have our own this thing, what's healthy and what's not healthy. Like we had this difference between the mother-in-law's view and the parents' view. So a healthy child, which has been defined, a health has been defined by the WHO as a state in which there is not only an absence of disease, but also a mental and social well-being, you know. So that indicates that health is not only a physical thing, but also something to do with our mental, emotional and social setup. And so I would say that as a doctor, though my role is, as parents think that my role is only in the case of physical health, but as parents and as a school, and even as a doctor myself as a pediatrician, we have a long way to think of health as something which is which encompasses all three, you know. So social and mental means something which is about your emotional thing, which a school can take care of, and such other things, you know. Now, we talk of this kind of health. Now, how would you say assess a child as healthy? Say mental and emotional, so most likely you assess in ways you know. A physical assessment is by the weight and height parameters, and the growth rate. If a child is growing properly as per the age and is weighing what is within the range, or the height is within the range, then we call the child healthy. And what goes to make a child healthy? So now we know that an absence of disease, and when we come to immunization, it means an absence of infectious diseases, and from there we go to immunization. And then of course for health we need good nutrition, and for a mental and social well-being we need a stress-free environment, a happy home, a happy school environment, and inculcation of other, you know, the ideas and goals. And like Priya said, exercise is so important to keep us healthy. For all the nutrition you may get, if you don't get good exercise, then you may not be healthy. So now let's come to other important things. We have spoken that you need good nutrition, you need a good immunity. How do you keep your child in a good immune status? Can anybody tell me how do you improve the immunity of your child? Okay, so to improve the immunity of your child, what you need is first a good healthy child who is well nourished, who is well exercised, is automatically a immune child. But there are many dangerous diseases which need protection, because even a healthy person can fall ill, and these dangerous diseases we take care of by giving immunization. So what is immunization? You all know, the children have told us, immunization is by giving vaccines. We give vaccines. We may have to use syringes. These syringes are not as big as they should. These are very small syringes. Most of them are quite painless, and or we may give them some oral drops also. So vaccinations can be in both the forms, injections as well as oral. Mainly these are the two ways which we give immunization, and these immunizations protect you against mainly life-threatening diseases, you know, diseases which can cause a high rate of morbidity and mortality. And they are compulsory in the sense that there is immunization which is included in the list which has been issued by the government or our own Indian Academy of Pediatrics, which is in the compulsory list. So those vaccinations have to be given to all children, and there is a class of vaccines which we still include in the optional list, where a parent can discuss with the child and find out which vaccine is essential and which is not. See, all vaccines are good. There is no doubting the fact that every vaccine has an effect of not letting the disease happen. But why consult a doctor whether this vaccine has to be given or not? Then there are certain issues, issues are mainly financial, but there are other small issues like, whether how much protection the child will get, whether the child, if not given the vaccine, will automatically get immunized, because as as it is that when a child gets infected, they recover also. So these are some issues, but the vaccines which are compulsory, which are included in the IAP schedule and as well as the government schedule, they are definitely compulsory, and the optional vaccines are the ones in which you can discuss with the doctors and then you can give it to them. Why we are talking of this immunization gap? Because even as of today, it's only about 50 to 60% of our children that is really fully immunized. That is as per the government schedule also. So there are so many children who still not receiving their immunization, and though most of these children are from the economically deprived section or the educationally unaware segment, but sometimes, as you see, even in well-to-do families or parents who are quite well educated, this gap sometimes does occur. Why? Because the life today is so busy. Even if a mother is sitting at home and working, is doing the work, she is very busy, and today a lot of parents, both parents are commuting to work and working, both of them. So in such cases, immunization can get neglected, though I feel parents today are very, very conscientious and very, very aware that immunization has to be given, but sometimes it can get missed. And then in those cases where the school starts partnering the parents in the health care and the immunization care, then it is really welcome. There's a question which somebody asked, does the school have to ask for the immunization card at the time of admission? Well, to answer this, frankly, there's no harm if the school asks for an immunization card, and there's a lot of benefits of this. Why? Because what happens, many a times when a parent comes to me and tells me that they have lost the card and they really don't know which vaccine the child is due or has to be given, then I remind them that please keep your card safely, because now you will require this card at the time of your admission. So when the school has started asking for the immunization cards, the parents have become even more careful, not only regarding safekeeping of the cards, but when they keep it safely, then they are also aware of what vaccines are being given, what has to be given, and then they take it to the doctors. If the card is missing, then they say कि कार्ड ही नहीं है, अब क्या लगाना पता ही नहीं है. तो जब कार्ड है, संभाल के रखा है, तो they are also aware कि क्या क्या vaccines देना है. And vaccination is very important because schools may, see, we are talking of infectious diseases, isn't it? We are talking of infections now. And infections mostly are, most of these infections are, will go from one child to other. Many of these viral infections especially, there will be a measles outbreak in school or an influenza outbreak in school and such things. So unless the school is able to ensure that most children are immunized, we will have this ki one infected child will come and many children will fall sick. This happens very often, especially in our government schools where immunization status is a little lower. You find the whole classrooms falling sick all at a time. So that way, when you are bothered about your immunization, then you know that each child, at least when you take the card, but when you take the card, you have to see that they have received their primary immunization. So you know that they have been vaccinated for something very important like measles. Then you know that most likely a child, or you have suppose a child comes to you with a rash in school. then it's very important. Suppose you then the school starts panicking, एक बच्चे को measles हो गया है, इस बच्चे को घर भेजे, क्या करें, किधर रखें? तो suppose you go back and check his card and you find कि measles दिया हुआ है, at least you will be able to say कि नहीं measles नहीं है, maybe it's something else, and you don't have to panic so much. So immunization cards with the school is not a bad idea. I think it will promote immunization, of course, but only thing is there should be a practice. We should go on to other schools also, our government schools, our schools which are not called not the so-called public schools, and this will go a long way in increasing the immunization status. From 50 to 60% we want to achieve, if not 100, 98, 99% of immunization, and that will go a long way to increase the immunization status. See, in India, even as of today, the biggest cause of mortality in India is because of infectious diseases. Diarrhea causes so much death in children. Measles causes so much morbidity. Chicken pox does. We have almost eliminated diphtheria, but pertussis is coming back. Okay, mumps causes a lot of morbidity. So we are still fighting the immunization problem, infectious disease problem, unlike the developed countries where infectious diseases are more or less a little under control. So in India, vaccination is very important, especially where we have a herd. We have children staying in a group, a herd, and they are passing on these infections to each other. So here immunization plays a very big role. And if children are immunized, and if the parents can somehow do mess up, as a parent I know I would have messed up so many times. I had such a hectic schedule. It was my own studies versus their health. Many a times it has been like this. It still happens. So we tend to think कि ठीक है दे देंगे, and by the time आप दे देंगे वो infection लेके घर में आ गए बच्चे. So when the schools start partnering and they can give this thing कि हाँ immunization हो रहा है, the parents are made aware by these programs, then it's a very good beginning, and I hope it will go on to make the world a healthy place, as Priya says. And of course we must, after this we'll go on to other things. More than immunization, there will be other things like other health parameters, like exercises, yoga. I think yoga is a very good thing to start in children, and other things which go on to make a healthy and a happy and a mentally and a emotionally stable child. Thank you.